Apple released the brand new M5 MacBook Pro just a few weeks ago, and I've been using it here pretty much on the daily since then. And so in this video, I wanted to give you a tour of my new M5 MacBook Pro desk setup. Obviously, the driving force behind this whole desk setup is the M5 MacBook Pro itself. Now, the model that I have here is the base model. It comes with a 10-core CPU and a 10-core GPU with 512 gigs of SSD storage and 16 gigs of RAM. This has been perfectly fine for my daily needs. I mostly use this setup for everything that's not like the main edits, like these videos, the one that you're watching here on the main channel, though it is absolutely more than capable. Been running the podcast off of this setup. I've been editing those videos for the MacRumors Show YouTube channel, which if this is the first time you're hearing about our podcast, please go check it out. You can find it on all of the podcast platforms. You can also subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so, but I also do all of my normal daily admin work here as well. It's just a really clean and minimal setup. There's a lot less distractions on this desk compared to the other one back there. It's pretty much, again, a distraction-free zone, and I really love it. The M5 chip outputs enough performance and speed and efficiency to just get me through all of those tasks, and I can't wait for the new M5 Pro and Max machines to come out later this year. Maybe I'll just use that over a studio because I do love the ability to take this setup on the go with my MacBook. The next most important part of any desk setup is, well, the desk itself. It's the centerpiece of your entire workspace. And this brings us to today's sponsor, Vernal. This is Vernal's solid wood standing desk, and it's easily one of the nicest, most premium options that I've tested. This model in hardwood cherry has a rich, natural finish that instantly elevates the room. And the fact that it's a full sit stand desk means you can switch from sitting to standing with just the press of a button. What sets this one apart is how solid it feels. I mean, this thing took me a long time to bring up the stairs. It is incredibly heavy, but that's good quality. It's very solid. Vernal has completely upgraded the stability as well with a reinforced horizontal frame, minimal gaps between the columns, and a wider overlapping leg design. So even at standing height, it really doesn't wobble. Like you can set a full cup of coffee on it, raise it up, and it stays rock solid. And despite that sturdy build, it's pretty smooth and quiet in motion. You also get tons of size and color options with desktops ranging anywhere from about 47 inches all the way up to 79 and 7 finishes to choose from. So whether you want something darker and modern or bright and natural like this cherry, you'll find a version that fits your space perfectly. And it also supports up to 350 pounds of weight, or 400 if you get the L-shaped model. So it should be able to definitely handle your full setup: monitors, speakers, gear, whatever you might throw at it. I paired my desk with a few different accessories. There's the light walnut tall closed cabinet here, which keeps everything organized and clean, tons of storage here. The cable management system that's underneath sets all the wires on this little tray. I put my surge protector in there, so I only have one cable going to the wall. And the table casters make it super easy to move around throughout this studio, which is a must-have. And the desk shelf houses some of my accessories and my monitor to bring it up to a perfect eye-level height. Right now, prices start at $429, and if you click the link below, use my discount code, you'll get an extra 6% off, plus $70 off classic sets. So again, just click the link and use the code at checkout for that extra 6% off your entire order. Now, speaking of the monitor, I am using old reliable here, and that's the Apple Studio display. Still a fantastic monitor after all these years. I don't remember how it's been, but it's been a handful of years. And I'm really interested in the rumored updated model that could have support for 120 Hz, so a smoother, faster refresh rate, and it would be a mini LED display, which would be a nice upgrade over what we have now. But even without some of these new features, the Studio display is still a great option, especially if you can find one for a significantly reduced price. Maybe it's lightly used. I highly recommend it. I wanted to keep this setup as minimal as possible, so there's no desktop speakers, but I instead use the Studio display for most audio since the speakers are absolutely fantastic. But if I need more, I also have the USB-C AirPods Max here on this really cool stand from Mophie. Not only does this have a USB-C or Lightning port, depending on which AirPods Max model you have, so that when you dock these, they are charging, but right here in the center, you have a little wireless charging pad for another pair of headphones, perhaps some AirPods or AirPods Pro, which is what I have on here, my AirPods Pro 3. I love this stand, and if I need a bit more in the audio department and don't feel like wearing headphones, I'll throw some music up on my HomePod. Underneath the shelf, we have my M5 MacBook Pro, And next to that is the Sonitech Thunderbolt 5 dock. I use this to connect all of my extra peripherals And most importantly, it not only has a bunch of extra ports that I don't get on my Mac, but there's an easier way to connect my SD card since I am hiding the MacBook underneath the shelf. I want something that I can just kind of plug into the front, and instead of reaching my hands to the side where it's kind of tight here, it just makes it much easier for me. On the other side of the desk shelf, we have one of my favorite new desktop accessories, and that's the Anker Nano 7-in-1 charging station. This thing is awesome. It has 100 watts of power from pretty much any of the USB-C ports that we have here, which there's one on the right side, but there's also 2 built-in retractable USB-C cables, which is my favorite feature by far. One on each side, so it's really easy to just grab a cable out, charge up my keyboard in a pinch, my phone, tablet, literally anything, and then when I'm all done, I don't leave wires on my desk because it just retracts back into itself. There's a USB-A port on that right side as well, and then on the back, there are 3 outlets for even more versatility. Plus, there's a fancy screen on the front here to monitor all of your charging data. I'm also using a few accessories from Logitech here, like the brand new Logitech MX Master 4 mouse and the MX Creative Console. So let's start with the mouse. Over the last few years, I have typically been a Magic Mouse person. Not entirely sure why. It's not a great mouse, but it's something I still usually enjoy to use. Before, I was actually an MX Master or an Ergo person, and so coming back to this new MX Master 4 has been refreshing. It's been a long time since I've used one, and it just feels so fast, so smooth, and responsive. And this thing brings immersive control and precision that you can feel with customizable haptic feedback on specific actions. It's kind of jarring at first, but I really love it. The MX Creative Console, on the other hand, I'm still kind of tweaking and figuring out how it fits into my setup and how I can be really efficient with these, but I am loving this creative keypad that has an LCD display that houses a bunch of keys that I can fully customize to launch into specific apps, specific macOS functions, or whenever you get inside of an app for maybe something like the Creative Adobe Suite or Final Cut Pro, these keys will then switch over to show you a bunch of useful and quick shortcuts for the functions specific to that app. The Creative Dial Pad is also something I can kind of put away if I don't need it, but I keep it on the left side of my keyboard here, and it just allows for me to make precise adjustments with the aluminum low friction dial, and then I can navigate and adjust other things with the smooth roller. And you can also access even more shortcuts with the customizable keys. These are 100% a must check out for those who are working in a lot of creative apps and you just want access to some of those harder to find, maybe those functions that just don't have a good, useful shortcut. You can go ahead and program it there, and it just makes things so much more efficient. Lastly, we have the perfect keyboard for this setup from an aesthetic standpoint and just from a functionality perspective. This is the Keychron Q5HE. Now, Keychron is using some pretty awesome switches for these keys here that provide a distinct advantage due to their unique mechanism. It offers faster feedback, dynamic, rapid triggering, and adjustable action points, which is just all fancy marketing talk for it's a really good keyboard that I think sounds and feels buttery smooth and satisfying to the ears. I love the look, I love the feel, and I love the sound. So honestly, all 3 of those things, just a perfect blend. And the fact that you can adjust it for PC or Mac specific. You can also use a USB-C cable to not only charge, but just connect it to your Mac directly if you want, or switch it to Bluetooth for a cleaner look. Highly recommend checking that out as well. So that's my pretty minimal setup for my M5 MacBook Pro, but I'd love to hear from you in the comments down below. What do you think of the setup? Is there anything that I should add to it? I am trying to keep it, again, somewhat minimal. I have a lot going on in the L-shaped desk behind me, but I'm always looking for cool suggestions or accessories and things that I should check out, so let me know down in those comments. And don't forget to check out Vernal's Black Friday sale. You can get the desk and accessories that I featured in this video or other variations, and you can get an extra 6% off if you use the code on screen. So be sure to check out the link in the description down below. This has been Dan with MacRumors. Thanks so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you around in the next video.